Something extraordinary is happening in the Pacific Ocean right now. As of June 2026, forecasters at NOAA and the World Meteorological Organization have confirmed a 98% probability that El Niño has already arrived, and it is strengthening fast. There is a 63% chance this event will reach very strong or super status, with sea surface temperatures more than 2 degrees Celsius above normal. If that happens, it would rank among the most powerful El Niño events in recorded history going back to 1950. In this video, we will break down exactly what this means for our planet, our food, our economies, and our daily lives. El Niño is a natural climate pattern driven by the Pacific Ocean and atmosphere working together. Normally, strong trade winds push warm surface water westward, keeping the eastern Pacific cool. But during an El Niño event, those winds weaken. Warm water sloshes back eastward toward South America, raising ocean temperatures across the central and eastern tropical Pacific. This seemingly small shift in ocean heat triggers a chain reaction that reshapes rainfall, drought, temperature, and storm patterns across virtually every continent on Earth. El Niño is part of a larger system called ENSO, and it returns roughly every 2 to 7 years. What makes 2026 special is the scale of heat energy stored in the Pacific. A vast pool of anomalously warm water built up in the depths of the central and eastern equatorial Pacific during the preceding La Nina years. When the trade winds relaxed in early 2026, that heat surged to the surface rapidly. The International Research Institute for Climate and Society placed the probability of El Niño at 97 to 98% through the second half of 2026. Multiple independent climate models from the US, Europe, Australia, and Japan all agree, this El Niño will be at minimum moderate and most likely strong to very strong, with some models predicting historically extreme conditions. El Niño does not bring rain everywhere. For many regions, it brings devastating drought. Southeast Asia is especially vulnerable. Thailand, Indonesia, and the Philippines typically see dramatically reduced rainfall during strong El Niño years. Australia's eastern states face serious drought risk with major implications for wheat and livestock. In Central America and the Caribbean, crop failures could trigger food insecurity affecting millions of people. Central and Southern Africa face failed rainy seasons. Northern India could see a weaker monsoon, threatening water supplies for hundreds of millions. For many of these regions, dry conditions are already beginning. While some regions parch, others flood. The southern United States, including California, Texas, and the Gulf Coast, typically sees above-average rainfall during El Niño events. Peru and Ecuador historically experience catastrophic flooding. In 1997 to 98, the last Super El Niño killed over 2,000 people in Peru alone. Eastern Africa, including Kenya and Ethiopia, faces risk of torrential rains and displacement. The Pacific hurricane season intensifies significantly, with warmer waters fueling more powerful storms. The Atlantic hurricane season, by contrast, tends to be suppressed, a rare silver lining for the Caribbean. Perhaps the most immediate human impact is on food. The Food and Agriculture Organization of the UN has issued an agricultural alert for this El Niño event. Rice is the most critical concern. Southeast Asia produces roughly 90% of the world's rice, and strong El Niño events have historically cut production in Thailand and India by 20 to 30%. That alone could trigger a global rice price surge. Sugar, palm oil, corn, and coffee are all at risk as key growing regions face drought. One Schroeder's economic analysis warns that food inflation could enter double digits in 2026 and 2027, hitting the world's poorest communities hardest. Thailand and Southeast Asia sit at the epicenter of El Niño's agricultural impact. Previous strong events have seen Thai rice output fall dramatically, turning the country from exporter to importer and sending global prices soaring. Temperatures exceeding 40 degrees Celsius are forecast across much of the region, threatening the vital tourism sector, a critical economic pillar for Thailand, Vietnam, and Indonesia. Peatland and agricultural fires are likely to ignite in northern Thailand, Myanmar, Sumatra, and Kalimantan, generating dangerous haze that disrupts health, aviation, and trade. The scale of this event may exceed standard emergency response capacity. Every El Niño event temporarily supercharges global temperatures on top of the warming already caused by climate change. The 1997-98 event made 1998 the hottest year on record at the time. 2026 is already tracking to break all previous temperature records. El Niño adds an estimated 0.2 to 0.4 degrees Celsius above the already elevated baseline, pushing many regions into uncharted heat territory. The tropics and subtropics will experience extreme heat buildup from September 2026 through February 2027. Ocean heat waves are simultaneously triggering catastrophic coral reef bleaching, threatening the marine biodiversity that anchors livelihoods of hundreds of millions worldwide. The World Meteorological Organization is urging every nation to activate climate emergency preparedness plans immediately. For governments, the priorities are clear: build strategic food reserves before prices spike, issue early warnings to farmers so they can switch to drought-resistant varieties, and prepare social safety nets for food price shocks. Businesses dependent on agricultural commodities need to diversify their supply chains now. Water utilities in drought-prone regions should implement conservation measures. The difference between countries that prepared and those that did not during previous El Niño events was stark. Preparedness literally saves lives and billions of dollars. El Niño 2026 is not a distant risk, it is happening right now, and its effects will intensify through the end of the year and into 2027. For individuals, monitor food prices and consider stocking essential staples, practice water conservation if you are in a drought risk region, and stay connected to authoritative sources like NOAA and the WMO. For investors and business leaders, commodity markets are about to become extremely volatile. For all of us, this event is another stark reminder that climate change is amplifying the severity of every El Niño cycle. The 2026 event is powerful partly because our oceans are already warmer than at any point in human history. The time to act on climate is now.